So this came in yesterday, and there's a report going around that Microsoft has axed an entire DEI team. Could I not gotten a better late birthday present than this? So if you've been watching the channel for the last few months, I've been bitching and complaining about DEI being injected into our video games for quite some time. We're seeing Sweet Baby Inc., this consulting firm, come in and just basically put checkbox after checkbox after checkbox of DEI nonsense to developers and force them to do things like LGBTQ representation, token black guys, everything in video games that you would say is completely woke. Having strong female protagonists with big Buzz Lightyear jawlines, a whole bunch of stuff just to do it, just to be diverse. Again, I never had a problem with true diversity in video games. Make all the different, diverse array of characters that you can. But if you're shoehorning stuff, especially when you're messing with old franchises and you're making characters like Lara Croft ugly, or if you're making a purposely ugly character in the Fable trailer, get the fuck out of here. So Microsoft has now basically eliminated an entire diversity, equity, and inclusion team, DEI for short, with a manager claiming, exact quote, DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. So if you remember back in 2020, you started to see this, I guess, woke progressive agenda start to infiltrate a lot of companies. A lot of stuff started to become a little bit more politically correct. Now we're in an age where people are tired of that. We're going against the grain. We're calling it out, and it's called anti-woke, but in reality, it's woke versus normal. The normal people don't want any of this stuff shoved down our face so that you can pass some kind of weird woke political agenda. And you can call it a grift all you want. You could sit here and cry, saying people crying about it are just a bunch of grifters and a bunch of crybabies that are worried about stuff like women in their video games. No, it goes beyond that. All right. It's not an issue of being able to play as a female in a game or a character being gay or anything like that. It's consulting companies literally infecting the gaming industry and the movies, TV, film, everything that you could think of out there, infecting it to propagate nonsense, to push ideologies to people. Let it happen naturally, right? Make good stories, make good content, entertain people. Well, Microsoft is doing this. This is a new report. I saw it on Business Insider. They wrote that they laid off an entire team focused on this, and a team leader blasted the company for a lack of investment in these efforts. I don't know. There was like an email that leaked out allegedly. The manager said, "True systems change work associated with DEI programs everywhere are no longer business critical or smart as they were in 2020. The team was eliminated because of changing business needs as of July 1st. In other words, what I think it is, it's a waste of time. Okay, we got thousands of dollars being put into companies. They're investing stuff. We've seen not too long ago, speaking of Microsoft, they had an inclusiveness handbook for developers that said having children was a social disability. We're labeling it as a disability now. It's so fucking weird, like the weird buzzwords and talk that they have put into all these inclusive models and programs and ideas and stuff. Like it's borderline over the top at this point, to where you have to feel like you have to cater and relate to everybody and everything in a video game. Honestly, I think the most narcissistic thing that a person could do is feel like, oh, I have to have myself represented in this game or else it's not inclusive enough. Get the fuck over yourself. I'm not playing Super Mario Brothers to relate to it. All right. I'm jumping on turtle shells. I'm eating mushrooms and I'm saving the princess. I don't need a character to make me feel special and warm and fuzzy inside because I've been told I'm a special little snowflake by my liberal arts degree professor. So now Microsoft did say that they're holding true to their commitment to diversity and inclusion moving forward. So don't hold your breath and think that woke is completely out of this. This is a good sign that they're eliminating a DEI team, but they are saying that their DEI commitments remain unchanged. How that works without a team, well, we'll see. Maybe there's just something in the employee handbook or something that includes all sorts of, I guess, multicultural backgrounds and crap. He said, our focus on diversity and inclusion is unwavering, and we are holding firm on our expectations, prioritizing accountability, and continuing to focus on this work. I don't know why they make it sound like it's hard to be diverse. It's like they purposely want to go out of their way to put full effort and stuff instead of actually making entertaining things, like I said. So, yeah, they rolled out a gaming for everyone product inclusion framework earlier last year. And it's kind of interesting when you take a look at all the stuff that they have in here. When you look at questions to consider when developing a game, for example, one of them is, are you reinforcing negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code of design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their task? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? Like, guys, is this what they're worrying about when they're making video games? This really tells me that these guys are the life of the party, where you feel that you have to make stuff that depicts diverse characters, stories, and creators that are playable characters that reflect the broader population, right? Because we can't get anybody offended by playing a character that is too much not like anybody else. Never mind that video games are supposed to be an escape from reality and their fantasy and stuff. It's almost like, oof, like, I don't know what they're worried about. And then it goes deeper down into whether characters are not tokenized or stereotyped based on their identities. But then it almost is self-contradictory because they literally want to make characters good because they're LGBTQ. Like, oh, this character is a great character because he represents the gays. Or this character is good because they represent people of color. They honestly, it's like they want people to feel relatable to characters based on their identities and their upbringings and their nationalities and their sexualities. But then they say, make sure they're not tokenized. So you can't be too racial stereotyped, right? Mike Tyson's Punch Out would piss them off. And their whole manuals and stuff and their gaming for everyone is just absolutely absurd. But then you also look in the past at some of their employees that they've had employed, such as Kelly Lombardi, who had this banger tweet saying, raise your hand if you're not a white man and you buy video games. No hate to white dudes. It's just another day in the gaming industry that minorities have to fight to prove they exist. Like, who thinks and talks like this? And these are people that are community managers and people that run communities based on gaming. Do they not see how stupid that sounds? That's like when you saw Alyssa Mercante the other day make things about white people in regards to the Real Game Awards. Oh, a white man obsessed, blah, blah, blah. Like, what does being white have to do with buying video games? Why do these people hate white people? It's ridiculous to think that you have all these females entering the gaming atmosphere and they just hate white men. You even see Savage Artist say right here, why did you feel the need to phrase the tweet like this? Why can't you just say, raise your hand if you like games? Are you aware the biggest demographic of gamers is Asian, not white men? What fight is happening today? It's a culture war that these people claim that they're not a part of. And that's why companies like Microsoft are getting weird of DEI teams, because all these people are fucking wild and whack and they focus on the wrong fucking things and they spit the most hateful rhetoric out of anybody. And they're quick to be like, oh, these guys are bigots. These guys are racist. These guys are the intolerant ones. No, guys, you guys are the ones that are whack. And that's why a lot of companies like John Deere not too long ago and Tractor Supply and countless other companies this year are eliminating DEI efforts because it's literally a cancer to a company. It infects it. People that are hired into it have this weird lunatic train of thought. Gaming journalism, look at it. It's totally suffering from this. And this is a whole form of derangement that's above the next level. So I am not holding my breath that Microsoft's going to get rid of wokeness completely, but this is a good start here. This is a good start. So hopefully the world is healing, as the meme says. I don't know. Again, you got so many of these weird wokies infecting gaming, and they'd rather push their political agendas and their ideologies in gaming instead of actually making good, entertaining games. They wonder why movies, TV, and games are oftentimes meeting with a lot of backlash. Look at Assassin's Creed Shadows, for example, because stuff like Yusuke being forced down our throats as some legendary historical figure just because he's black, instead of actually making a good, culturally respective Assassin's Creed in Japan that Japanese gamers wouldn't feel offended by. They're more worried about offending the woke crowd instead. So anyways, guys, I'm hoping this is a good change of things. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. I'll see you on the next one.